Why sleep when you could dream? Why walk when you could frolic? Why would you tech follow when you could tech lead? Thank you, seriously, it's too much. Before we start, if Techlead is watching this, dude, I'm a massive fan. I love the work. All these guys are cringe, unlike you. If you're watching this and you're not called Techlead, I'm lying to him because he has a history of copyright striking people without just cause because he dislikes them. That's not entirely true. He technically did it because he did not consider the video to be real journalism, substantive stuff. And if that were the only criteria for copyright infringement, I would be imprisoned forever. None of these videos have serious value. I used 2 different sources for the same footnote because I edited the video wrong. Does that mean Techlead has the right to copyright strike me? No. Of course not. I need to be put down, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Who is this weird, jaundiced little freak, and why is he pointing at Techlead? Good zinger. Let's pretend I didn't write it. But before we continue, today's sponsor, Displate. Displates are a simple alternative to traditional posters that risk tearing, whereas displates are carefully printed in the European Union on sheets of metal, making them far more durable. It also makes changing the poster easy, and there are millions of designs to choose from, including ones from official brands for video games and sports, but also photography and independent art. There's a lot, and trust me, some of them are pretty surprising. Some of my personal favorites are from the collection that are actual in-game paintings from Dishonored, because they just look amazing and you don't really see them anywhere else. I chose these 4 pieces, and they came out excellent, especially King Kitsuragi, who is for some reason really big.
Detective.
They give you plenty of instructions, but installation is trivial. It ships with everything you need. Protective leaf on the wall, magnet on the leaf, and you're all set. No tools required, and there's even a 3D variant that makes the displate pop off the wall. You can buy displates in several finishes, including the all-new Textra that leverages the metallic design by adding contours and definition, creating a texture that makes the poster more 3-dimensional. Every displate is stickered and signed within a 100-day return window to guarantee quality and deliver in around 5 days, even to Australia. We don't even ship our own mail in 5 days. You can get up to 33% off until August 26th using code Kappa23. To learn more, check the link in the description or the pinned comment. Techlead is someone who's always been on the periphery of YouTube. Popular enough for long enough that people recognize him, but whose video subject always inherently limits their widespread cultural adoption, which is kind of a great spot to be in. A lot of people see your stuff, but most people that do generally understand it, so you don't have to kind of explain or justify yourself all the time. Like how I could just release an Outer Wilds video at any point and no one would question it. It's any day now. This just let him bang out some cracking videos without really garnering much attention outside of his sphere. Like when he made a video where he charitably rambles about how he views clothes and the connotations attached to it. It's an extremely strange video and kind of indicative of who he is. It has a considerable amount of his own personality in there, his own opinions. You get several glimpses into how he perceives things, and is a prominent example of something he does a lot, where he says something that could sound normal, and then he chooses to deliver it in not that way. The line that jumped out to me was this one.
So that puts me in an interesting position because as an influencer myself, anything I wear is by default going to look good. It's going to be considered fashionable.
I know that sounds like his point is fame equals fashion regardless of why you're famous. A lovely deadpan joke that implies Bill Gates is a fashion icon. However, as you learn more about Techlead, you realize that wasn't a joke. He's just interesting. One of the first things you'll notice when you look at his channel, or whatever's left of it, is how much he talks about himself and his wealth. Just enough that it is uncomfortable. Let's be clear. Sometimes when Techlead mentions his exorbitant wealth and that he used to make $500K a year as an ex-Google, ex-Facebook, Techlead, whatever, it's a joke. It's in jest. He's being sarcastic. It's actually kind of funny. Some of the time it's because he just really likes himself and he wants you to know he's rich, which is kind of weird. I never talk about how cool I am, or rich, or handsome, or tall, or muscular, but in a lean muscular, so I'm still fun. If you know anything about the man, it's probably that. He comes off as the type that is extremely conceited, won't stop talking about money, believes opinions that aren't his are just wrong with an ethereal grip on ethics, and believes that their sometimes strange way of thinking is far more common than it is. So like 70% of software engineers, I mean, it's not, he kind of really is like the pinnacle of tech leads. He's their leader. So that's who we're talking about. That's the context for this video. Not mentioning his actual content, which was obviously coding related, and then he deleted it because apparently he doesn't believe coding is a viable job anymore. I've been saying that for years, but I just don't like nerds. Why are you watching this? That would be true, except there are videos that are still up that have affiliate links for courses that relate to coding and the technology sector, and he got into a thing where he was rerouting his competitors. We don't have time for this. I should be transparent here and say that the reason any of this is on my radar is because the most recent thing he's kind of done is copyright strike a video that details something we'll get into later. And then he made a response video pretending to be Daryl Hall and I'm John Oates. You'll never learn because he keeps making mistakes. I won't go through the video as it doesn't really exist anymore. Here is a video talking about it. It would boil down to me just showing you quotes that make him look extremely out of touch and allergic to criticism, but the gist of the point is, if you want to criticize him, all you have to do is send them your name, address, deepest fear, perfect date, and a handwritten apology with a little wax seal. But why is he even having videos made about him? I mean, sure, he seems extremely self-centered, unable to imagine other points of view, and has a now recanted past of misogyny. That's, you know, a lot of YouTubers. I mean, let's be honest, it's not exactly the grass is not greener over here. It's not even their fault. You like get to 1 million subscribers and then you flip a coin and it determines whether or not you end up as a freak or get into crypto or whatever. At one point, he was all in on a little something called Million Coin. Even being in advertisements served on YouTube. He made the coin. There's only 1 million in existence, and he guarantees that they will be worth at least $1 because he put $1 million into the project. God, I wish I could read. This in itself is very interesting. Crypto coins, oh look, it's my video, have a near unanimous problem in that they always lose value over time, and having a strict 1 million supply worth at least $1 fixes nothing. It suffered the same fate as every other coin, but I guess that was like neat. This is something the official website implicitly admits, tying the value of the coin to like popularity and circulation, which is just every cryptocurrency and also money from a bank. According to Techlead, in a response to "It's a crypto thing, how do you keep getting in my house?" Techlead admitted that he profited considerably and didn't invest $1 million of his own dollars. I guess that saved CoffeeZilla like a few hours on the blockchain. Thanks for admitting it, I guess. This honestly doesn't even move the needle much for me. He's an ex-software engineer that believes their work and life experience makes them far more qualified or capable than they are, with a concerning attachment to money. This guy was always gonna goof troop it in the crypto sector, whether or not we knew about it. The weirdest thing is, didn't deter him. He's not done goofing. His channel has transitioned from tech and coding with a dash of finance to crypto and AI because he's a software engineer. It's cheese in a mousetrap. He didn't stand a chance. He's the exact stereotype of a software engineer. He chose the perfect name. That's amazing. I won't delve into the content, but I can safely tell you that most of it is not particularly sound financial advice and suffers from the same problem most crypto videos have, which is that the creators have a clear financial bias that makes them unreliable. Unlike me, who doesn't care about anything. It's actually the stuff that doesn't fit into any category I've mentioned so far that I find the most interesting on his channel. My favorite video he has ever made is why muscles can shorten your life. How to live longer. Now, I'm not a fitness freak. I play sports, I go to the gym, I work out the muscles that are off camera right now. You know, I take my Flintstone vitamin gummies. I'm a prime specimen, but boy, did this set off some alarm bells. The whole video is like pseudo-research based. He sources articles and like reads some of them, but he doesn't really use medical terms because he's a software engineer and describes bodybuilders as having large muscles and not bodybuilders as medium muscles. Like a doctor would. He talks about how pro bodybuilders are much more at risk of having heart problems, and that is completely true. They have heart problems for every reason under the sun, beyond just added weight and the steroids. To get down to competition weight, they often withhold nutrients, including water, which is recommended by 9 out of 10 dentists, so it has to be good. He drags wrestlers into this and simplifies it down to those macho man muscles are causing them to die maybe 20% earlier than those who are playing, like, say, hockey. Wrestlers dying early and long-term health has been widely discussed at this point. It is a well-known fact. But it also may be to do with the fact that they regularly eviscerate tables with their flesh. I'm saying that it's a bit more complicated than just that. It also raises the question where he specifically draws the line, because he brushes over the fact that athletes have a lower mortality rate, and those guys are definitely large muscle. I can think of 30 NBA players off the top of my head that could kill me with, like, the forearm down. They're outliving me too. At the end, his point is just really about steroids and getting excessively jacked, which I actually agree with, but the video is so unfocused and derails so quickly, and he's like almost surprised by the information, it's kind of impressive. Again, a classic Techlead video. Says 2 or 3 things that like sound good and are pretty good advice, and then he just rambles and he goes off the rails. There's not actually much more to the video than that, but I feel the need to point out that towards the end he points out that East Asians have a high life expectancy, and look at these K-pop idols. They aren't muscular at all. Unaware that they are some of the unhealthiest people on the planet, caused by a horrendous industry that treats them worse than cattle. I'm just gonna throw up like 5 sources. Go get 'em, champ. He also says women shouldn't work out because of something that like doesn't matter. Infertility issues. Apparently Techlead assumes women are just child storage units and not human beings with dreams and the ability to drop a sick beat. Watch the video. It's a generational production, maybe a top 10 of all time. Right up there with like Ray William Johnson, where he throws the baby. Oh. Also, he cites Andrew Tate at one point. You just have to watch it. It's a legendary video. It should go down in the Hall of Fame. I don't care. Thank you for watching. These are the fellas that are supporting me. Give me money. Thank you for Displate for sponsoring. I'll see you soon. Or maybe I'll be dead. Au revoir.